With more, I'm now joined by Dr. Deborah Farias, a lecturer at the University of New South Wales School of Social Sciences. Welcome. Now, just a few hours ago, the President, Nicolas Maduro, appeared on television, appearing defiant, saying that the opposition had only a small group of supporters. Is that accurate? How widespread is the support in the push to get rid of him?
First of all, it's important to say that the president, Maduro actually said, in a way, what was expected, is to minimize, is to say this is not really a big deal, this is just an attempt, that the people shouldn't be worried. Now, the problem is that it's getting very hard to actually get information and accurate information from what's going on in Venezuela on the streets. So that really makes the situation that's already unclear and unstable even more, because also the government has a significant level of control over television, over internet. So the flow of information, it isn't exactly precise, but it does appear to be more than just what he said, that it was just a minor thing. It appeared that this might be something that indeed might be, let's say, the final stage of his presidency, perhaps.
We know that Western nations, including the US and indeed Australia, have supported the opposition leader Juan Guaido since he declared himself as interim leader. What level of foreign intervention has there already been on the ground in Venezuela?
Well, yeah, so I was reading about this, and a very interesting analysis saying that what Guaido has for him, that's probably his strongest asset, is the international support that is actually very visible. But you have both groups, and I mean both groups, both Maduro and Guaido, they're both trying to go outside and say, look, the people who matter are the ones supporting me, or the people who really know are supporting me. So both have nuggets of truth in the sense that not everybody is backing up one or the other. And yes, there is a great level of international attention. One of the big reasons has to do with, of course, all of the domestic issues that are going on in Venezuela. But Venezuela also happens to be a place right now where the United States, China, and especially Russia, also have a lot of interest in what happens in the region.
Why are they interested?
So this is something that maybe a lot of people don't know, but so Venezuela is about the size of New South Wales. However, it has, in about the same size, it has the largest oil reserves in the world. So their proven oil reserves are bigger than Iran and Iraq's combined. So you cannot take that element of sitting on the world's greatest crude oil, proven reserves out of the equation, because it is a big part of especially this outside interest. And then especially these three outside countries have a lot of interest in terms of oil. But then again, you have all around the region of the Caribbean and Central America and in the Americas, this huge influx of migrants, of people who are leaving Venezuela. They just had the projection from the IMF is a number that's almost unbelievable to say, but the projection for this year is an inflation of 10 million%.
Now, the news agency Reuters has been reporting that the security firm Blackwater has been pushing a plan to topple the president. Could it be that there are already mercenaries from the United States or from the firm Blackwater already on the ground? Well,
there is that possibility indeed. As far as I've read, at least this is in what's in the media, is that the owner, the director for Blackwater, who was, the firm that's very well known or infamous for what they did, their participation in Iraq, said that they were sort of presenting themselves as, hey, here, we have a good solution, or we have a viable idea. Now, how that would actually be accepted by the U.S. Congress, now that would be a very different question. Of course, there's things that we just can't control. I mean, if you look what in the time of the Vietnam War and the war of the U.S. involving even in Cambodia, when the Congress said you can't go and the government actually went in.
Where does the military stand, and is there the chance that it could split?
That is probably the 10 million barrel of oil question. That's the question that nobody knows so far. So the indication is that, yes, there is a rupture within the military. But what is really important to probably look in the next 24 or 48-hour cycle is to see how many top-level military general and personnel actually appear on television or publicly supporting Guaido. So that is one of the things really to be watching. The other thing, which if it's really not in this high level, would be to see maybe the high brass actually saying, look, this is what you have to do, but then have the people on the ground actually refusing to continue. So those are the two possible chances of a split in the military.
And so in terms of where Venezuela finds itself right now, how would you describe the situation?
I'll use the words of Christine Lagarde, the director for the IMF, that she said that the current situation in Venezuela is not even an economic crisis, it's a humanitarian crisis. You have, it's people, it's a problem of hunger. The blackouts have made the hospitals just simply not function. Because also the blackouts, you don't have water. The expectation is about 44% of people in Venezuela by the end of the year being unemployed. So it's a very, very sad situation. And I hope that whatever happens in Venezuela can lead them to a better place than they are right now.
Just finally, is civil war a possibility?
Yes, it is Latin America. We've had our own shares of these sort of things, but I'm still hopeful that there can be something that's not that deadly. I'm an optimist.
Well, as you say, the next 24 to 48 hours could be crucial. Dr. Deborah Farias, thank you so much for putting it in perspective for us.
Thank you for having me.